Howdy folks, this is D Maxwell 817. We're going to be loading my Remington 1858 44 caliber cap and ball revolver. This is a replica, or what you call an antique or curio. It's a replica of an 1858 Remington, and today we're going to be loading it. First thing you do is you cock this cylinder back where you can rotate it, and you can load it with round balls, 148 grain 44 caliber round ball, which is 450 451 diameter, or you can load it with these 450 200 grain conicals that I make myself. You put your powder in your cylinder, then you put one of these lubricated fiber wads on top of that. That eliminates any chain reaction, and it also helps lubricate the barrel and remove foulings. And then you press it in. Now you can use this lever. You can put your powder. I'm using Jim Shockey 3F Gold Series in this flask. This is a 30 grain spout. Hold it upside down, push the lever, let it go, turn it back up. That's 30 grains. Then you pour that 30 grains in the cylinder like so. Then you take your bullet, you drop it in there, and you rotate it like this, and then you use your speed loader, and that comes down just like this on the bullet, and you bottom it out until it won't move any further. You get it there tight. You don't want to leave any air gaps. That would cause an explosion in your cylinder. So you tighten, pack it down as tight as you can tighten it without breaking your rod. You kind of learn what's appropriate and what's not, and you come over to each cylinder one at a time. For round balls, this is going to be the best method for your round balls, and you can also get by perfectly fine doing it with the conicals. What I do is I've been using this, or I bought this loader here, which works really well. It's about between $20 to $30 depending on where you find them. Usually about 25 or so. You put your cylinder on here like this with no primers. Put your cylinder on here like this. Put your powder in there, 30 grains each cylinder. Put your fiber wad, and then your conical or your round ball. And you bring this over like this, preferably on a table, something solid, and force that down in there until it's packed tight. And then you rotate it one cylinder at a time until you're done. Then you take it off, put your primers on, put it in your gun. So again, this is a great method. Today, this video is going to be about loading with my new speed loader that loads all 6 bullets at one time. I just bought this off of eBay for around 25-30 bucks. And it is a speed loader made by a random corporation called Quick 6 Revolver Loading Stand, 44 caliber, part number RC038. Again, if you can see this, this is what this system looks like. I've used it once already. I love it. It works really well. The only thing I didn't like about it when I bought it was this cylinder here rotates. That's fine, but it's plastic. Some kind of hard plastic or polymer or something. Everything else about this stand is metal. And you just open it up like so, and this rotates. I wish this had been metal, aluminum or some kind of metal, so that it would take a little more force. I wish maybe it'd been a little bit bigger, with a couple of screw holes where I could mount it to a table. If it had a little bigger with a couple of screw holes where I could mount it to a table like so. Then and a bigger handle. And the reason is, you take this cylinder, you open this thing all the way up, you take this cylinder again with no primers on it, put it on this little nipple, like so, and then you're going to put your powder, before you put your powder and these fiber wads on before you put it on the stand. Then you put all your bullets in, then you set it on this here, and it forces the bullets down tight in the gun. But on the round balls, it works great on my conicals, the 200 grain conicals, which actually shoot harder, they hit harder, they shoot harder, they're a better hunting round, and they're more accurate than a 148 grain round ball. And so I love shooting conicals. That's mostly what I shoot. If you just want to go plink, you can plink the round balls, use a little less lead, but I prefer my conicals. The round balls are going to shave off, if you can see, a little bit more lead when you press them in. So when I did all 6 round balls, it took a little more force. I actually barely could get it in there. If you see that handle is bent right here, you can see this handle has a little S pattern to it. That's because when I was forcing it down, I was having to hold it, and I could just barely get it to go a little bit, and I'd have to stop a little bit more, and I barely got it to shave and crimp the bullets down, you know, size them to the bore on this cylinder. It took a lot of force, and it pretty much bent this rod. So I'm not going to use this anymore for my round balls. Now, I don't know if these round balls are made from wheel weights. I made some from wheel weights, which is a harder lead, and that could have contributed to me having a problem getting them pressed down into the cylinder. Or if they were soft lead. I've made them out of wheel weights and soft lead. And I don't know which ones these are. I didn't separate them. So if they're soft lead, then this is not going to work very well for round balls. So that's why I keep this here and use this for round balls. Or I use the loader on the gun itself, which works perfectly fine. You know, there's no problem with that. For round balls, that's what I'm going to keep using. So again, we're not doing round balls today. We're going to be doing conicals. So that's what we're going to focus on this video. We're not going to be using this today, so we're going to go ahead and get this out of the way. What we are going to be focused on is showing you how my new speed loader works and how I love it. It works great. 100% glad I bought it. So again, if you like shooting a lot, this is the way to go. It's a whole lot quicker. Now I'm going to move my camera, and we're going to get started here in just a second. Now again, today we're going to be loading up with Jim Shockey Gold FF3FG. I can load this up 12 months later, as you saw in one of my earlier videos. It's still shot. It just happened to be a little weak. The other cylinder had been loaded 6 or 8 months. Shot just like I loaded it the day before, really hard. I have had it loaded before, like in my rifles in the 2FG, and for a whole year in my double barrel CVA 50 caliber Kodiak, and it shot like I loaded it the day before. So if you're in a low moisture area, you seal your primers, put something over in the barrel, it probably lasts forever. But I didn't have anything sealed. I just loaded it, had it in a gun case for a year, and it shot fine. I also like shooting Powered XP for pistols. It's pretty dirty, but it's real reliable. The most I've got out of the Remington 1858 is about 3 months, and then it's a week that it's just not reliable after about 3 months. But after 3 months, it shoots fine. Just really dirties your gun up. This one's not too bad on dirtying or fouling your gun. Puts out a whole lot less smoke than this one. And then again, you got your 777. I have used it a couple times. It's kind of in between these two. Again, I still prefer Jim Shockey Gold or American Pioneer, which makes Jim Shockey Gold. And so I shoot this in my pistols and all of my inline rifles and all my side locks. And this stuff is hotter than this And this, so when you're shooting it in your side locks, don't shoot over 80 to 100 grains. It says shoot less than that. I've shot up to 100 grains in my side lock Hawkins without any problems with a 354 grain bullet. So, but it's got a pretty good kick. So I'd normally shoot about 75, 80 grains, a 90 right in there, and it's pretty good, pretty accurate. And but again, we are going to get started. I'm going to reposition this camera. Okay, we're gonna focus on loading this powder up. Again, you put your finger over this, let go, bring her up. I don't see it full. I always make sure she's full. Okay, she's got a full charge there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now we're going to put these little lubricated fiber wads in each cylinder. Just press them in straight and flat. If they get a little crooked, it won't matter. You can straighten it with a little screwdriver, or the bullet will straighten it up when it presses it in. These help, like I said, they help lubricate the barrel. They'll clean out fouling, and they also hold in your powder. So now I can, whatever I want to do with it, and it's not going to dump my powder out. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put in my bullets. Like so. Again, these are 200 grain conicals that I make myself. I believe they're a 450 diameter, 450, 451. So you get them all started just like so, just like that. Set it on this cylinder. Bring that down like this. Line it up, make sure everyone's lined up on a bullet. Okay, they all look good. And just start turning. If she's going to move on you, just hold it with your hand, one finger or something, so she can't move. Check, make sure everything's lined up still. You can hold this like this if you want. If you want to hold it like this so nothing moves. I'm making sure Each one of these pistons is going down into the cylinder, not cockeyed. Everything looks lined up okay. I'm going to get her in there good and tight. Backing it off. Now you can see these little shavings. It shaves off a little bit of the bullet, which helps seal that chamber from moisture. That seals your chamber from moisture getting in there, and you can see how it pressed all these bullets evenly. If you hand load it individually with either one, with a gun hand loader or with the other speed loader, sometimes they'll be a little off. These are all even, and they need to be down either flush or below this cylinder so that they don't rub the gun, because if they're sticking out, they will hang the gun a little bit. You'll have to kind of shave the end off to get it to turn to the next cylinder. So again, this is perfect. At this point, move that out of the way, and we're going to come in and we're going to load it. And I already have a primer number 10 in this rubber cap. What this does, this helps keep moisture out of the primers, and I wanted to show what it looked like inside. And you push it down on there like that. I'm going to need my little screwdriver. Before you do that, if you have any of these little shavings that get stuck down in here, just take your screwdriver, a little pocket screwdriver, and just fish them out. I just like fish them out so they don't hang in my barrel or anything. And you go and take your speed primer here for number 10s. Make sure it's on there tight. Keep this point away from you, so if it were to have a chain reaction or go off accidentally, it wouldn't hit you. I've never had that happen, but there's always a possibility, I guess. So, you know, static could set it off, so always keep your muzzle loaders pointed away from you once you start charging them. You push these caps down on here like so. These are number 10, not number 11, they're number 10 for pistols, for cap and ball. I shoot Remington, CCI, and Winchester. They've all shot about the same to me. I haven't got any preference. I buy them all, whichever is cheaper at the time. Make sure they're all on there like so. This cylinder's ready to go, ready to hunt with, ready for self-defense, ready to go target shoot. Again, these are not considered firearms. Any cap and ball, any muzzleloader pistol, any inline muzzleloader, any side lock muzzleloader that you can order to your front door is considered an antique or curio under federal law, and is not considered a firearm under federal law. State law, a little bit screwed up. They say they follow, in Texas, they say they follow state laws, federal law. But they try to call this a firearm, and it's not. It's considered an antique or curio under ATF rules and regulations. And if you can order it to your front door, the UPS or the post office, it is not a firearm, because you cannot ship a firearm to your front door. You have to ship it to a licensed gun dealer and go pick it up, fill out your firearm form, etc. These cap and balls, inline muzzle loaders, if you cannot change it or convert it to a cartridge, it is considered an antique or curio under federal law, and is not considered a firearm, because black powder and black powder substitute explodes. It does not burn. Regular firearm powder, the reason you get the term firearm is because the powder burns. You put two piles beside each other, and if this is firearm powder, smokeless, it lights and burns up slowly, which is fast to our standards, but it's slow. If you do the black powder substitute, and you touch it with a match, it blows up. It just goes puff. It's an explosion. So that means that it's the way they ignite is different. firearms are called firearm because the powder burns. It doesn't explode. So that's the difference under federal terminology. You can get online or get a federal book, call an ATF, local ATF office, and they can tell you exactly and confirm what I just told you. So check your state laws, see what they are, but that's the definition. I take these rubber caps and I push them about halfway down because I want them to seal to the nipple. You want them to seal down to the nipple down there, and you want them to seal to the cap. That helps seal out moisture. If it's raining, it helps keep them dry. For storage, it helps keep them drier as well. So it keeps moisture out longer. So another reason I like these caps without them, as you've seen in 2 of my videos, one video had caps and they all held together. These rubber caps held these percussion caps together so they didn't explode and fragment and jam up my cylinder. The next video, I didn't use them, and as I shot and they fragmented, sometimes they would kind of hang and I'd have to work to free it up or drop it out to get it to switch over to the next cylinder. And you don't want to force it because you could bend your firing mechanism, your turning mechanism inside that rotates this cylinder. So you want to clean that out and don't force it. But these rubber caps also help hold these number 10s on so they don't fall off when you're in a hunting situation or something. And again, this is a loaded cylinder. She's ready to go in. This one's empty. She's ready to go in like this. Push that rod all the way in. Find these half cock positions right here. You see, let me get a light. If you see right here, you see them 2 primers. See that little half notch position, that little cutout area? That's designed to rest your hammer. Right there, it's designed to rest your hammer so it doesn't rest on a cylinder. If you rest this on that cylinder and you hit it, it could go off. So you turn it, you catch one of them half notch positions. That way you can load all 6 cylinders and you're rested on in between so it can't go off and discharge. This gun's ready to go target shoot. You can see what it looks like loaded. This gun's ready to go play. Again, this is D Maxwell 817. I'm going to be signing off. Hope you folks out there at YouTube learned something. Again, this is an excellent speed loader. I would suggest if you're going to do a lot of shooting to go get one of these. They're well worth their money. To the manufacturer that makes them, in the future I would suggest that you make this little mechanism right here out of aluminum instead of plastic. I think your customers would be a whole lot happier. I know I would. So I don't think it would add to the cost much. So you know, that's something, food for thought. You know, take it in, look at it. And other than that, everything else about this is solid and works perfect. Thank you folks. Y'all have a good evening. Signing off.